We just got back from seeing our friends at 901 Games here in Memphis, Tennessee, and we scored an unopened copy of Wingspan by the amazing Elizabeth Hargraves and published by Stonemaier Games. This hasn't been the easiest game to get, so we're especially excited to dive into it and share it with you. Let's make it hot. Welcome to Board Game Nation. My name is Gary Blevins. Thank you so much for watching. On this channel, we do unboxings, how-tos, and strategy videos for great games like this one. So if you like anything having to do with tabletop games, this is the place for you. Take a second, subscribe to the channel. Thanks. When Wingspan came out in 2019, it won all the awards. It's a mildly competitive, medium-weight, card-driven, engine-building tabletop game for 1 to 5 players. It plays in 40 to 70 minutes and is for ages 10 and up. Aside from being a great game, one of the big reasons for its incredible success is all of the amazing art. Let's jump in and you'll see exactly what I mean. All right, here we go. Let's jump into Wingspan. I cheated on the plastic a little bit. Wait. All right, let's take a look. Tremendous art, as advertised. There's the back. All right, let's get in this thing. Have some kind of ad. Oh, coupon for a digital version on Steam, I think is what that is. We've got the rule book. It's got a really nice linen finish. We're going to look more at that in just a moment. Also comes with an appendix. Same linen finish. Very cool. And this is also the linen finish, but these are the rules for solo play, which is pretty good. We'll look more at those in just a minute. Got a plastic tray. Card tray. Cool. Got a bag of little tiny components. We'll go back to that. More tiny components. Plastic bags. Okay. Come back to that. Okay. And got a score pad. And then, so on the one side it's for the solo play, the other side is for group play. That's pretty cool. Lots of little plastic trays here, which I'm pretty sure go with the small components. We've got 4 decks. I think these are all bird cards, and these are the bonus cards, I think. Again, we're going to double back to that. Do a quick pull out here. This is the round score sheet. Blue-green, blue-green. This looks like a quick start guide with the particular cards that you'd need to get started. So we'll definitely take a look at that in a minute. These are the player boards. We got 5 of those. Take a quick peek at one of these guys. Wow. That is very colorful. I like it. Okay. More of those in a minute. And what else we got in here? Okay, this is the famous bird feeder dice tower. And a bunch of punch outs. And that is what comes in the box. We're going to break all these things down and be right back. So this is the entire game. You've got a bunch of bird cards here. These are bonus cards. We've got a discard rack. This really cool bird feeder dice tower thing we're going to talk about. Kind of a perch display. This is the first player token. Obviously your player mats. You have a rule book. You have an appendix, and then you've got this extra thing. These are the rules for solo play. So we'll look at all that in just a second. We got your food tokens, eggs. These are your round objectives. This is the round chart. These are your action cubes for your mats. This is a quick start. We're going to look a little bit more closely at this as well. And these are the cards that you need for the quick start examples. So this is why they're split out differently. And that's the box. Let's take a look at each one of these pieces individually. Let's start by talking about the rule books. So this is the linen finish is something that's kind of unusual. It's gorgeous though. That really makes the colors come out. Of course, the illustrations are amazing. Rules of this game are fairly simple. It takes, I don't know, 8 to 10 minutes to really get a handle on how the game works, but the rules the rule books rather, are really, really good. So the appendix really breaks down what happens for each individual card, some of the different bonuses that you'll be pursuing over the course of the game. And then, as I said before, this is the rules for the solo play. And there are particular cards that go with that we will look at right now. Wingspan comes with 3 different kinds of cards. The first we're going to talk about are the Autumna cards. These are the ones that come with the solo play. They have a different card back to them, which is also very cool. These are double-sided because they're round counters, or they're affected by the round of play. And then these are reference cards that also have a different kind of back. Next, we're going to talk about the green bonus cards. They've got these leaves on the back and with a holly berries, maybe? I'm not really sure. But when we turn them over, they have all these different objectives that belong to each individual player or the holder of the card, which can have big points for the player at the end. Lastly, we're going to talk about the bird cards. These are some of the most beautifully designed deck building cards I have ever seen. And when you look at the art on each individual card, I think you're going to agree with me. We're not going to look at each individual card today, but trust me, they really are something that you're not going to want to miss. While we got the cards up here, we'll go ahead and talk about the display. I call it a perch. I think it makes more sense to be called a perch, but I think the rules call it a display. And then this is just kind of a card holder and discard tray for birds that are discarded over the course of the game. This tray also makes it really handy for storage, so once you finish the game, you put all your cards together, drop them in there, and then this doubles as a lid for that, so that you don't need a bunch of rubber bands and all that stuff. Pretty handy. All right, next let's talk about the food tokens and the eggs. For the purpose of the game, the color of the eggs doesn't really matter. They're more just decorative, but you can put them however you want. The food tokens, again, the color doesn't matter. It's more about the symbol. So we've got invertebrates, fruit, seed, rodent, and fish. So those are your different kinds. Okay, you're going to be in and out of these plastic trays for the entire game, but when you're done and you want to put them away, there's a little trick to getting them to close up. So you take this, and instead of just trying to put the cap on, dump the tokens into the other container, and then it should snap on with a little bit of Hulkamania. There you go. And they're super snug, right? This is not going to fall apart. So they're really in there pretty tightly. The same thing with the eggs. It's a little harder because they like to roll around, but dump them in there, then put the lid on, and it should come closed. And again, really snug, not going anywhere. And these are the 5 play mats. Each player is going to start with 8 cubes that they'll have at the start of the game. And I think they're absolutely stunning. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Okay, each round, you're going to have a different objective to shoot for. They're decided at the beginning of the game by random. You choose one of these tiles at random, and then you're going to place them in there, and that becomes the objective for everybody to shoot for that round. This is 2-sided. On the blue side, it's just however many you get of that thing. That's how many points you get. But if you play on the green side, it's a little bit more competitive because you get points based on how you did compared to everybody else. So you'd have these, and if you did the best at this, when you get first place, second place, third place. The game comes with these really fun, chunky wooden dice that are for determining what food is available for the birds. So you can roll them if you want to, but it also comes with this like incredibly cute dice tower / bird feeder. And what happens is you'll dump the dice in the back here, and they tumble out, and that's the food that's available for the birds from the bird feeder. How cool is that? And this thing goes together pretty easily. We're going to talk a little bit about some tips about that in just a second. Okay, the game also comes with these kind of quick start guides for new players. So if you had a 4-player game, you'd give each one of these to a player, and this is exactly what they would do for turn 1, for turn 2, 3, 4, and then 5 and beyond. So it kind of walks them through how to play a bird, how to gain food, and the basic mechanics of the game as they go. So it's pretty handy for new players. I've used it once and found it pretty useful. They did a nice job in pulling the cards out that you're going to need instead of making you rifle through the bird deck and the bonus deck and all that stuff. So that's pretty handy. So nice job, Stonemaier. And lastly, one of the handier things that the game comes with is this score pad for the end of the game. So at the end of the game, you're going to score points for how many birds you have, bonus cards, end round goals, eggs, foods on cards, and then total tucked cards. So this is really handy as a checklist to make sure that you don't forget anything, but it's also a nice way, like some families, they don't tear these off, they hold on to them so they can kind of keep track along the way. If you play this game solo, that's what's on the back here, so you can use this lots of time because it's got, it's double-sided all the way through, so pretty handy. I've got some artist friends that use these for art projects when they're over, so this is what's left of the punch outs when you are done. So while I have these here, let's talk real quickly about how to put that bird feeder together. Tip number 1, don't punch everything out and then try to figure out what everything is. Follow the directions as it says, punch out bird tray A, and then punch that out, and then put it together. Otherwise, it gets a little bit confusing. It's not rocket surgery, but it does take a little bit of, the directions are helpful. Let me just say it that way. All right, so you finished your game and it's time to put it away. Like everything else in this game, the storage is actually really well designed. So as I said before, this goes on here and closes up. So the first thing that goes in are your rule books, including your quick start guides. All right, so these go first. Then your play mats are gonna go right on top of that. Okay. Then you're gonna put your scorecard down. Next, cards go in. Now this would seem to be something that would be difficult to store, but the top comes off really easily. And then when you set it down in there, it actually fits pretty snugly in its own little tray here. So you see it actually lays down flat inside of there and then slides into that spot perfectly, which is pretty remarkable. And now here's something I wouldn't have thought of. Store these upright. And then it fits, again, perfectly. Those aren't going anywhere. Put our scorecard in. And then everything else is kind of loose. This is all the action cubes and the first player token. It came with all of these plastic bags, by the way. I have added no storage solutions here. So this is all by design. And that is Wingspan. Pretty fantastic. And that's everything you get with Wingspan. I'm sure it's going to turn into one of your favorite games, just as it has for me. You can pick up your copy at most board game stores for between $55 and $70. If they don't have it in stock, they can typically order it for you. Our friends, the lovely and talented Britt and Kelsey, are working on a complete how-to-play video for this game. When that's available, you'll find it right here. For our latest bit of mayhem, here's your link. And if you're ready to join Board Game Nation, click here to subscribe. My name is Gary Blevins. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.